We are on the afternoon break in the second day of questioning of the undercover police manager, Bob Lambert. I'm joined by James Simpson from Counterfire.
Thank you, Tom.
Lambert's been evading and word salading again. What have you made of what he's come out with?
Ducking and diving.
Yeah.
No, I think it's been a fairly long session, but
It feels it, yeah.
And a very deep dive into the deployment of HN26 Christine Green.
Yes, and the nature of her relationship with Joe Tex.
Yeah, and how he did not manage the situation.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to suggest. We saw a bunch of documents that seem to be full of euphemism. That Joe Tex that Christine Green had started a sexual relationship with him, with the activist.
It certainly seems to be painting a picture that some of the gaps between some of the evidence that's being displayed over what Lambert knew. He changes his appraisal of Christine Green rather quickly from one that he's not that positive about her deployment to 3 weeks later being extremely positive about the efforts she's going in.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, lots of references to staying overnight, the fact that she was now exploring all the options available to her. A lot of euphemism.
Lots of things that could be read and very differently with the benefit of hindsight and quite possibly foresight that Lambert had at the time, probably had at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think, we've seen this a few times where, the documents are shown that once you know that that's what's going on, it's pretty obvious that's what's being said.
It's really interesting that they write these things internally, and they do seem to have very coded language even amongst themselves.
I mean, what's amazing is not only is there coded language in that particular document, but it's signed off RJ, which is a pseudonym that Bob Lambert was using internal within the SDS. So he's a manager. He's not dealing with the public in any way. Yeah, he's still using a fake name.
And you can tell me if I'm wrong, but he only seems to be using this towards the end of his management as well. So it just comes in 1998. It's almost like he's just missing it, maybe. And everyone else, it's at the point where everyone's starting to get the code names, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so maybe he just wanted to get involved in.
And he wants a code name.
Exactly.
Bobby needs a code name.
He wants to feel like he's back in the John le Carre style novel. Of his deployment.
He was very evasive in a lot of the questioning around that. A lot of words.
The Holland trip of HM26. That's the most basic. I mean, I think for court participants like yourselves, or anyone that's got a registry file in special branch, to not be able to. So he's trying to say that he can't remember, or he doesn't know if he's ever been to Holland.
Yeah.
So a weeks-long animal as a cover officer for a week-long animal retreat with HN26 and DS Thompson with another DS that was covering with him. Now, if you went abroad with your registry file, the police will know about it, won't they?
Yes.
If anyone that's in this core participant group, anytime in the last 30, 40 years they go abroad, the police know, probably the government knows, MI5, whatever.
Yeah.
Bob Lambert is being allowed to say that he never went to, he doesn't think he's ever been to Holland or Leiden or something. There must surely be a record very easily to not allow him to have this line of thing. He'd just you went and that's it.
Yeah.
But the inquiry is allowing him to, to his word salad excuses to say that, well, I'm not sure I went.
Well, I mean, in his written statement, he's very definite. He didn't go in 96. And as he pointed out by the chair, that there was no suggestion of him going 96. The year is 98. And he's obviously hedging his bets by going, I don't remember it. I don't think it seems fairly clear. I mean, what's particularly odd is why he goes to such lengths to deny this particular thing. There's been a few of those this afternoon. I mean, I think maybe perhaps when it's all laid out in front of me, I'll be able to go, oh, right, he's obfuscating and refusing to give a straight answer on these matters because that would then implicate him with something else. But at the moment, it's not becoming obvious to me why he feels the need to be so
I certainly
elusive.
think he doesn't want to give any indication that he or anyone within the SDS was aware of the relationship between Frampton and Christine Green, HN26, prior to her leaving the deployment. which, I mean, people that were involved. I've seen some of the people that were giving evidence and stuff. Does not seem to be in any way sort of viable.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was it seemed to be completely common knowledge from at least early 98, but certain, possibly in late 97, that it was well known that they were a couple.
It certainly seems that her ex-husband was told by Christine Green 6 months prior, as he said in an interview with Operation Hearn in 2011, 12, something. Operation Hearn.
Yeah. So, I mean, it should be also noted that that Christine Green and Joe Tex are still in a relationship, which seems quite wild, but is actually the case.
And Bob Lambert would still be happy if she was still giving intelligence to him.
yeah, he would. Yeah.
Which is the overall, what we're getting out of it. It didn't really matter to Lambert what violations of people's civil liberties happened. I mean,
he seemed. I mean, he was particular. I mean, a lot of this kind of revolves around this releasing the mink from the clink, as the Morning Star headline put it. The liberation of a large number of mink from a fur farm, which was signed off by Lambert as a clandestine criminal activity that Christine Green was allowed to do in order to ingratiate herself into the ALF. And I mean, he seems so excited about this. It's because there might be the opportunity to arrest Joe Frampton, if through part of this. And the slight oversight, the fact that it ends up being between 3,000 and 6,000 mink that are released, which causes huge damage to the local flora and fauna and pets in the area. He was envisaging only a few hundred.
I don't know what he was envisioning. He was looking at the handcuffs at the end, I think, isn't it? Yeah. But that also involved two further operations, 3 in total, that was meant to be being carried out by Frampton and the ALF cell that HN26 was infiltrating, which also involved like incendiary devices and abattoirs.
Supposedly so, yeah.
And he was supposedly meant to be quite happy for another one to go ahead before it was time for the arrest. So, I mean, there's a lot of crime that's being, if it is true, which we can't really take for any SDS reporting, there's a lot of crime happening that they're very willing to allow and quite serious stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, and there's no doubt that they had foreknowledge, particularly of that mink release. There's no doubt there. I mean, we've got the paper trail. They knew full well what was going to happen.
Did they have to apologise to Hampshire Police in the end at some point?
Yeah, I mean, it was because they hadn't formed a local constabulary. So yeah, they were they very much had egg on their face on that one.
But I definitely found he seemed to find that quite uncomfortable. I think he was trying to find a way out, but he didn't. I think he almost got to the point where he wanted to blame his DS at the time, Greenie, a little bit, but he couldn't quite commit to that, and HN58. So he was a bit between a rock and a hard place, and unable to escape until he babbled away into
nothingness. I mean, there was a point where a bar kind of said, reflecting on it now, what are your feelings about it? And I can't remember. We've seen this repeatedly from Lambert, this sort of willful misunderstanding of the question. So he can just he wasn't being asked to remember anything. He was asked what his thoughts were on it, and he just uses the opportunity to babble for a while and say that he couldn't remember.
Yeah, and then I think that was towards the end of HN26, wasn't it? And then it was on to the beginning of, which is going to be quite a long section going into tomorrow, I guess, is Mark Jenner's deployment.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw the initial targeting document, which was that he was going to be deployed against community-based anarchist groups.
Yes, and Mark Metcalf, who has a special place in my heart, the only other Sunderland fan involved in this process.
For your
Not that I'm involved, but
sure.
But yes, he was.
But who's very much. I mean, for those of you who may have watched the live evidence of Mark Metcalf, I think it's fair to say he's definitely not an anarchist, nor has he ever been.
No. It's quite clear. And not involved with Hackney Community Defence Association in the way that is outlined in the targeting. And
it was it put to Lambert, how did he get this so wrong? And he said, "Oh, maybe I was wrong." Then he laughs. I don't think I was wrong. It's like, hey, hang on a minute. He's not having that he was wrong in any way. I mean, his take on it is, it seemed to be basically, well, anarchists, manarchists, it's all the bloody same. They're all a bunch of subversives that need locking up.
I think the main purpose becomes, and knowing from watching Jenner give evidence, is that quite a large part of that deployment was the anti-police activities of the Colin Roach Centre and the Hackney Community Defence Association and Graham Smith and everything.
Yeah, because just a real quick reminder, the Hackney Community Defence Association had been incredibly successful in bringing to account the wholly illegal activities of police in the area at the time, fitting people up, drug dealing, all sorts of things. Graham Smith, did some incredible work with the Hackney Community Defence Association, bringing cases and like stopping police corruption. Rather than thanking him for cleaning up their image, the police decided to go after him and against the people that he was inspiring, and tried to shut down that kind of holding the police to the account, which they just purely saw as anti-police activity.
Yeah, and I think the inaccuracies of that targeting of Jenner just shows that they wanted to get him up into an area where they were having bother. They had some activists. They wanted to target Mark Metcalf.
Yep.
Norman Blair gets mentioned, but I don't believe he was actually targeted by Jenner in the end.
I mean, I don't think he got the opportunity.
Other undercovers earlier in his life.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was as with most things, there's a means to an end, isn't it?
Yeah.
Get Jenner up there, and then we'll worry about it.
Yeah,
when he's up there.
It also included a little section where it suggested that he find himself an inverted commas friend to take to his first important meeting, so as not to appear a loner. Yeah. And when it's put to Lambert, you're suggesting he takes a girlfriend, because it also includes a section of like learning from other undercover officers in related areas, which is reference to animal rights and other anarchist sort of undercover deployments. I mean, Jenner couldn't stop grinning. So yeah, Lambert couldn't stop grinning whilst he was talking about this. He was like, "Oh no, I don't think I meant that at all." But I mean, it was very clear.
He definitely seemed to have a perverse enjoyment of that inaccuracy of his own targeting reports.
Yes,
which was counter because just before that he'd had to be forced actually to do his first apology of this sessions with apologizing to the spouses of the undercover officers.
He says I probably should apologize to the spouses, but he doesn't actually apologize. This is something he did this last time as well. He does this quite often. He goes, "Oh, I probably should apologize." ... And that's it. Like, that's not an apology, Bob. He's been enjoying himself a fair bit.
It does. It's really odd. You can tell sometimes it's a little bit uncomfortable, but I think the thing with Lambert, I think, is that he sees it as a sort of a battle or competition, and he actually quite enjoys deceiving people, trying to think that he's trying to prove himself as cleverer, more evasive, and that he still could be effective or is effective as this sort of spy type character.
Totally, yeah.
Which, with everything he goes on to in his career in the Muslim Contact Unit as well, it's a major problem with Lambert throughout everything he's touched in his life. Yeah,
obviously there was that period of time where, as an academic, he started trying to embroil himself into sort of leftist sort of spaces again.
Sure. I mean, he was a panelist in Stop the War Coalition meetings. So he was in Spinwatch, wasn't he? And doing interviews regularly with them. And
I've had some comments today on Twitter just going, I met him during that period. I thought he was one of the good guys. I'd spit in his face now. Deception clearly is his thing.
Well, I mean, if they want to get in touch and want to discuss any more about Lambert outside of these deployments, that would be I'm hugely interested in following up on the Muslim Contact Unit years and the academic years and seeing how this panned out and what he was up to. Extremely interesting.
It's only a short break. We should probably head back in. They'll probably be starting again now. Anything else you'd like to add?
Or solidarity with the Filton 4.
Absolutely.
From Friday. I didn't get to say that last time, but
yeah, absolutely. We live in dark times. Though everything we're talking about is historical, the current clampdown of authoritarianism is chilling and horrific, and should be resisted. And solidarity with those who resist it. Bye for now.